The Jeff Lynne snare drum sound in all its boxy, roomy, boomy glory. Next on Music Surgery with Dr. Bob. We've all heard it on ELO, Tom Petty, the Traveling Wilburys, and Jeff Lynne's solo records, and even a couple Beatles songs, that distinct Jeff Lynne snare sound. Okay, 3 things to keep in mind when going for this sound. 1, don't hit the snare too loud. Medium angst does better and doesn't overload the room mics. 2, no rim shots. Hit the snare in the middle of the head without the stick striking the side of the rim. And 3, make sure you've got at least a medium-sized room to record this in with a snare top mic, a snare bottom mic, and 2 mics to capture the room in stereo, as it's as much or more a part of the sound as the close mics. My friend Jaron Sorensen is going to tell you about the snare we used.
Now, when I'm snaring beaver, I like a little bitty slim lock. It's a fast lock, it's hard to see and all of that.
You freaking idiot, Sumner. Not that kind of snare.
All right, we have a 1963 Ludwig Superphonic. Classic, most recorded snare drum of all time. This one happens to have chrome over brass hoops and got the original muffler on the inside that we've got engaged. I swapped the snare strands out for some cannabis wires that record great, and we've got tea towel tape to the top like they used to do.
All right, I'm a huge Jeff Lynne fan and a huge fan of his drum sound, so I'm kind of excited to show this. Let's start out with the snare top. Medium tuning, not low, not high, and hitting right in the middle of the snare, no rim shot. Snare bottom. Pretty fuzzy, pretty juicy. We'll get into that later. There's going to be a whole nother episode after this one about the snare bottom, which is a whole interesting thing, but we'll get to that later. Here's the 47. More of a close ambient. Here's the Coles. Thick, warm, not bright, kind of more for that thumpy part of the snare. Here's the overheads. Not super loud in the mix of the snares, but adds a little left and right dimension. Here's the RE55. Same, a little dimension, not much, not really loud in the snare malt mix. And here's the room sound. Close room sound, not mic'd far away. So, let's play this. I've programmed a kick and a hat. Let's see how this sounds. Now with some music. So let me do that again with just the drums and show you most of this snare is comprised of the top, the bottom, the thuddiness of this 47, and the room. So let's start with just a close top mic. take the room away, and it just sounds like any normal medium kind of vintage snare sound. Which sounds cool, but the boxiness and the quick, short, almost gated room that he's got on the Tom Petty stuff, on the ELO stuff, on his solo stuff is just magic. So really, with just a top and bottom and room mic, you could pull this off. Or two room mics, sorry, stereo mics. Also, let me just show you, I've got addictive drums up here. Easy to get this just programming wise if you can't get to a studio as well. Same concept, boxy snare and room sound. Now, obviously, this could be any drum program, VST synth or whatever that you have, where you have control over the room and the sound itself. I can turn the room off. Messing with the distance here sounds a little quicker and shorter, kind of Jeff Lynne-ish when it's quick and snappy. I'm just bringing these mics in closer to the source or further away. That's all that is. So that's about it. Part one of the incredible Jeff Lynne snare sound.
Well, that's it. Now just write a great Jeff Lynne song that the whole world wants to sing to go along with that snare sound. And if you don't have a good Jeff Lynne snare sample, here you go. Operating room, scrubs, and beard rental can be costly. Since starting this channel, we are $1.8 million in the hole, but you and only you can help us recover from this financial disaster. Please hit subscribe below. It's free, and it helps us and helps you to know when the next surgery is available to watch. Thank you for watching Music Surgery with Dr. Bob. I say this every time, but thanks for watching Music Surgery with Dr. Bob, and I'll see you the next time the doctor's in with part two of the Jeff Lynne snare sound that I actually watched being recorded.
Now, when I'm snaring beaver, I like a little bitty slim lock. It's a fast lock, it's hard to see and all of that.